All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Charles, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube, and we are recording for the Cruise Mojo podcast. Hello, everybody out there. How's everybody doing? And with me is my good pal, as always, the legendary Dirk Breakbush. What's up, Dirk?
Oh man, Charles, I'll tell you one thing. What a great week we had. No news is good news, as they say.
Oh my God, what a crazy week in the cruise industry. This is probably the most tenuous week, I think, that we've since we've been broadcasting. I'd say it's probably one of the more challenging weeks for the cruise industry ever. I'd have to say. So it's a pretty good time to be in the podcast business, Dirk. Right?
Oh yeah, it's not just the cruise lines. I think it's any vacation spot, airline, uh, stock
Any kind
market,
of
you name it.
travel. Yeah, it's was in the. I have a graphic. I could pull it up. The cruise line stocks have been down tremendously, and I'm broadcasting right now on the screen, Dirk. And I have a comparison between Norwegian and Royal Caribbean. Although they ended the day slightly up. I'm sorry, they were down by the end of the day. I was looking at the wrong date. Norwegian in the last 3 months is down 29%. Royal Caribbean's down 32%, even though their respective stock prices are significantly different. I remember we were just talking, Dirk. I was looking at the Royal Caribbean stock price. It was over $100. It was like at one point when we started this discussion, it was $117, and then it plummeted down to 77. And Norwegian comparatively was down to 34.74 was its low point, and then they started rebounding late on Friday. Who knows what the
Yeah,
future holds, Dirk? We
yeah,
shall see. I'm not looking forward to it tomorrow.
You, you got anything on that or other
Carnival.
friends?
Your
Carnival?
friends at Carnival. I'm gonna look it up right now. Carnival down 23% in the last 90 days. Most of that was in the last, 7 days. Their stock price is 33.46 compared to Norwegian's at 37.26. Excuse me. So they've been taking a beating. The stock market's taking a beating. The travel industry is taking a beating, and everybody knows why. Everybody knows why, and I'm almost afraid to say it because we've been talking about it for how long now, Dirk? Too long.
Uh, yep.
We've been talking about the coronavirus. Hello, hey, Mary Jo's here, Brunilda's here. Hey, Andrew, what's up, my pal? Everybody's here. What's up, Eric? Lots of people watching. So the coronavirus, folks, has been decimating the stock market and taking the cruise industry and the travel industry with it. And we hope it's over. We hope the beating is over. But we'll see. We'll see tomorrow what happens. It hasn't been good, and it's led to all kinds of things happening. So you have the MSC ship that was denied entry into the Cayman Islands. Have you seen that, Dirk?
Yeah.
And there was a whole big. I'm gonna put it up on screen now, folks. So there was an incident. Jamaica and the Cayman Islands blocked the MSC Meraviglia from docking when the ship called on Ocho Rios, Jamaica, and later when the ship was scheduled to call on Georgetown. So they couldn't enter, right? And this article is actually from Cruise Law News, which occasionally they write pretty good articles. And that resulted in a major brawl, folks. A major brawl, and I haven't seen a brawl like this. I don't know if you remember, Dirk. Maybe it was last year, and I think
Yeah.
remember that brawl. Every once in a while, you hear these giant melees, and this is a little bit loud. And I think the subtitles are in Italian, but because this I think is
Which
taken from
makes
an
sense.
Italian newspaper. But watch this, and this guy, the ship security, pepper sprays this guy. Pepper sprays. So it's going to be a little bit loud. Let me try to lower the volume. And we're going to watch a little bit of it. And it's a vertical video, folks. So I apologize about the vertical video. But here we go. Ready? Look at this. Look at this. Melee.
Don't get started.
And it's right in the middle of the whole central area there. Look, they're closing the piano.
Oh, here we go.
This guy's hitting the piano. It's not funny, but it's crazy business. Look at this. Different view. Different view. The whole ship, it seems like, is in the middle here. They're holding back this guy. I hope you can see it, folks. Thankfully, I've never seen anything like this. Look at all the people. Look at all the people. Unbelievable. And you can see the melee there in the center of your screen. This guy's pushing ship personnel. That's a passenger in a gray t-shirt. All the guys you see in black are the ship security. And they're now going after this guy. They're going after the next, a couple of guys there. They're going to get that guy. And where's he going? You know where he's going. Right to the brig. Right to the brig. Here's the Italian one. Here's the pepper spray. So this is in Italian. Again, excuse the volume, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a little bit loud. But this guy. Look at this. That's the ship security in black. They pepper sprayed this guy. I got to rewind that. No, look. You see him, he's holding his eyes. Everybody in black is a ship security there. It's going to start. This is just the intro to this news. I wish I could read Italian. I don't know what that says.
It's not good. It's not
February
good.
25th. So this passenger is now laying on the ground. This is the guy, I think it's the guy in the gray t-shirt that we saw earlier. He's covering his eyes. Surrounded by ship security. So all those people in those black suits. Look at this. That's ship security. Get that guy right to the ground. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just listening to this on the podcast, ship security on the MSC line just pepper sprayed a passenger in the face. He was in the midst of a melee that could have potentially broke out into a bigger melee. They pepper sprayed this guy, and now they tackled him onto the floor. And the whole crowd, what you're hearing are all the passengers in the central area watching this happening. All the passengers are on the balconies, on the stairways, and they're looking down at this in the grand atrium of the ship. Just looking down as security attempts to take control of the situation. And this melee is just continuing. So that's unfortunate. I think they just got this guy. I think they're taking the guy away. Yeah, they're taking the guy away. Yeah, security's getting this guy out of the grand atrium and getting him out of there. But I've never seen anything like that, Dirk. I mean, we've seen melees like that. I've never seen pepper spray.
Big verbal deals, but not manhandling.
What's that?
I said we've seen verbal things.
Yeah.
To speak to the captain.
Yeah. I guess we're used to.
Not manhandling.
Never saw manhandling. You know what though? I don't disagree with that because I think the policy of Norwegian is not to touch the passengers, even in a security incident. Have you heard that?
What's that? I'm sorry.
They have a hands-off policy, Norwegian.
Yes, I heard that. Yes.
Yeah, that they can't touch the passengers. They didn't look like that on the MSC line. They were really pushing that guy around, getting him out of there, and the crowd was reacting, both in horror and then when they get him finally under control, they start cheering. So pretty intense, on the MSC ship, Maraglia there.
Well, Charles, as far as the hands-off security is concerned, that explains it. We've been on a cruise out of New Orleans during spring break, and of course they had tons of students, etc., etc. But what Norwegian did is they added 5 or 6 New Orleans policemen to the security, which were wearing black golf shirts, police on the back, and the New Orleans police badge on the front pocket. Of course,
on the ship.
Yeah, on the ship, and added to security. And they just walked around, keep everybody quiet. I'll tell you one thing: if you ever been on the Bourbon Street and you see how New Orleans police handles drunks
Oh yeah.
and people that don't follow orders. You don't mess with them.
No.
And there was not one single incident, not even a drunk incident on that ship.
Oh, that's great. This guy, that's unbelievable. And thankfully, I've never been on any. I mean, I've heard scuffles. The last time I was on a cruise ship last August, I was on the Norwegian Dawn leaving out of New York City. There was a scuffle right outside. I happened to be near one of the elevator lobbies, and I woke up one day. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I heard a scuffle outside my door. But it was just the shouting back and forth. It was shouting. There was no physical contact there, thankfully. But that was a major thing, and the whole crowd around it. How do you recover from that? How do you recover from the bad PR regarding that? Because all those passengers now witnessed that, and they're going to go tell their stories. And that one passenger, Andrew, is pointing out that one passenger got pepper sprayed. He's going to write a bad cruise critic review of that ship. What do you think?
Well, you said that that the majority applauded when they finally got him under control, which means that they were definitely not on that side.
No, they were happy they got that guy out of there. He was being a troublemaker. Yeah. Brunilda says she has videos of girls fighting on the jump. Brunilda, you got to post that. What are you holding on to that for? Let's write a whole story about that thing, Brunilda. People would love that thing. Maybe I'll write a story. Send it over. I'll happily write it. But that was an intense fight there. A little scary there. Let's hope that guy doesn't write a bad cruise critic review for the MSC Maraglia, as Andrew says. Thanks, Andrew. That was pretty funny. Just a few more coronavirus things, ladies and gentlemen. A few more coronavirus things that we're going to get past. That we're going to talk about the Scarlet Lady, actually, and some of the reviews about that ship from Virgin Voyages. It's getting killed by the people who had early access to it. But last two things of the coronavirus. So this is the princess, the Diamond Princess, that famously got stuck in Japan and tried to quarantine the passengers, and the quarantine failed, and the coronavirus started spreading, and then they decided to get everybody off the ship. One guy even allegedly got a drone delivery of wine, if you remember that story. That was on this ship while it was in Japan.
That was baloney.
I know. So this is basically confirming that the quarantine measures enacted on the Diamond Princess cruise ship in Yokohama allowed additional infections to spread among the ship's crew and passengers. So we talked about this, and we talked about how much of a failure this quarantine was aboard the Diamond Princess, and we also spoke about how this will never happen again because it failed. And I'd be surprised if other cruise ships have to quarantine people on board. This definitely won't be a way of handling an outbreak on a ship anymore. You're not going to be quarantined and stuck on a ship because they proved that it's not a working measure. And this gentleman, what's that?
But Charles, you've been in the medical field. You know that the quarantine rooms all got their individual HVAC and air supply system and ventilation system that when they quarantine somebody. So I mean, it's a simple deal, but on the cruise ship, what they did is what I said last time. What they created was not a very good situation.
They created an incubator, and a couple of videos on here.
That's right.
A couple of videos on this article here. This is from CNN. A U.S. veteran had a feeling of loneliness, he says, while he's on quarantine. This lady, this passenger, we don't have to play it, but this 3-minute video. She gets off the ship and she starts crying. So pretty intense time, scary time, I'd have to say, because I could imagine being on the ship. They were on the ship when all this news unfolded, right, Dirk? They were there when everything unfolded. They became almost a global focal point of the coronavirus, and you can imagine them watching the news. And feeling the sense of doom while they're on that ship. Imagine being stuck on that ship and you have that feeling that there's nothing you could do. You can't get off, and you just feel doomed. That's what those people had when they were on there. So thankfully, I don't think there was one death, I think.
Yeah, can you imagine the inside cabins?
Yeah, they were quarantined. Some people were in those inside cabins. They were wishing they had a balcony. Whoa, I almost knocked over my drink. Yeah, they were wishing they had a balcony. People were stuck in those inside staterooms, and they only got out. What was it? 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day? They would rotate the passengers so they can go outside and take a look and get some fresh air. Not a good situation, and thankfully that's over with. So those are the coronavirus. I think I have one more, and everybody remembers we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, where the Norwegian Jade customers were not getting a refund, and now they're saying that they're going to get 50% off a future cruise. So on behalf of Norwegian Cruise Line, thank you very much for your loyalty. This was a letter circulated to the guests and travel partners that were on that sailing on the Jade. It was an 11-day sailing from Singapore that started on February 6th. While it is our intention to maintain original itineraries as much as possible, at times unforeseen circumstances require us to make modifications. Recognizing the inconvenience these changes caused, and to display our commitment to delivering exceptional experiences at sea, we will be offering additional compensation from the original communicated 10% refund and a 50% future cruise credit. All guests who sailed on this itinerary will now receive a total reimbursement of 50% based on the original cruise fare paid and future cruise credit valued at 50%. The credit will be valued for 1 year from today's date. To utilize it, simply contact your travel professional or contact us at, and they have the Norwegian number there. Please allow 10 to 15 business days for the refunds to be processed back to the original form of payment. The visibility of the adjustment to your account is subject to your financial institution's internal policies. We greatly appreciate your understanding, and thank you for choosing Norwegian Cruise Line for your vacation at sea. Sincerely, Katie Bird, Vice President Guest Services. That was nice of them to do that, right? Have you heard anything about the Princess Cruise Line? Did they give any refunds for that debacle? I think that everybody got a 100% refund for that, didn't they?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, plus probably a future cruise credit, but I haven't heard. I haven't seen any definitive information on that. So I think that's it for coronavirus. There's one kind of tangentially related coronavirus story, and that has to do with Virgin Voyages. Everybody knows, and if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now, Virgin Voyages just launched a brand new ship called the Scarlet Lady. Have you heard about that, Dirk?
Yep.
Oh, Amy's correcting me. 6 deaths so far from the Diamond Princess. Wow, Amy, I didn't know. I heard about 1. So now, in the midst of all this coronavirus stuff, Virgin launches a cruise line. Everybody knows Virgin. Richard Branson. He launches a cruise line. He gets investors together. And the story of Virgin Voyages is that they hired people outside the cruise industry to come in and design a ship. Did you know that, Dirk?
Yep.
So they intentionally, I'm sure they hired the experts for the hull design and all that stuff. And to make sure it floats when they put it in the water. But for the design of the ship, the concept of the ship, they intentionally didn't hire people from the cruise industry. And there's no official online reviews, written reviews, because no paying passenger has yet been on the ship. But Cruise Critic did a little bit of an article on it, and they talk about some of the highlights on board the Scarlet Lady. So the Scarlet Lady will have no main dining room, no set dining times, no dress code, and no buffet. This is the dining, Dirk. You hear me? Yep. Are you with me?
Yes.
So the highlights of the ship are it's adult only. So they created this cruise line, Virgin Voyages. It's adults only, no kids allowed. You have to be 18 or older to sail on the ship. More than 20 places to grab a bite to eat with no extra fee restaurants. So they don't charge. There's no upgrades. There's no specialty restaurants where you have to pay a fee on the ship. Cruise fares will include basic drinks, soda, bottled and sparkling water, juices, coffee, and tea, and gratuities, including for alcoholic drinks and in the spa. The major 86% of cabins will have balconies, and 93% will offer ocean views. It will feature the first ever tattoo studio at sea. What do you think about that, Dirk? You can go on a cruise and get a
Well,
tattoo.
I wanted the Norwegian tattoo on my right arm.
So they have a tattoo studio at sea. That seems kind of sleazy. I don't know. I don't know if I'd go in there. I bet you there's a
Well,
line though. I bet you anything that
how
there's
you
going to
like?
be a line to that tattoo studio there.
Oh, absolutely. How
Yeah.
about the other names? Extra Virgin,
Yeah, so the extra version,
GOB,
these are the
Pink
names.
Agave.
Can you see this? These are the
Yeah,
names of the dining areas. So you have the extra virgin, Scarlet Lady's Trattoria inspired Italian venue will serve regional dishes and handmade pasta daily. I can't even pronounce that. John Bay, Geonbae. I have no idea what that is.
agave. That's what they make. That's what they make tequila from.
Yep, they have the tequila upscale Mexican restaurant called Pink Agave. John Bay, meaning cheers or bottoms up in Korean. John Bay is a Korean barbecue restaurant featuring specially designed flameless grills built into the table so that diners could cook their own meals. Test Kitchen. This restaurant is designed to encourage diners to think about their food from a new perspective. Whatever. The Dock Restaurant, set at the back of the ship on Deck 7. This alfresco eatery is a beach club-inspired space serving Mediterranean small plate salads, dips, and mazes. Flame-grilled skewers will also be available for those who want a hot meal. I guess that's kind of like a Turkish restaurant. I love Turkish food. You ever have Turkish food?
Yeah, yeah.
I love
Oh,
that. It's good
absolutely.
stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff. The Galley, modeled after the popular food halls you'll find in many cities, the Galley will be a main place to grab a quick casual meal throughout the day. The space will feature a mix of more than 8 stations and food carts, each offering a unique selection of signature dishes that changes to suit the time of day. Pizza place, Razzle Dazzle, perhaps the most energetic dining spot on board. Razzle Dazzle gets its name and design from the practice of camouflaging ships during World War I and II using patterns of black and white paint. On the menu is a selection of vegetarian and vegan fare as well as a juice bar. Wake, the largest restaurant on board. This 6,000 square foot dining venue is located at the back of the ship, offering beautiful views of the ship's wake. Wake will serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. At night, the space will serve as the ship's steakhouse with offerings that include a raw bar, the land and sea classics, a tableside cocktail cart would make its way around, and the wines will be served by sommeliers using Magnum bottles. And they go on and on about the ship, and they go into the different types of rooms that you can get. One of the rooms is actually pretty incredible, the rock and roll suite or something. I have a video of it I'm going to show you shortly. But they have this thing called the Gin and Tonic Bar, the spot for fresh cold pressed juices. So they're trying to reinvent cruises. So it's not for me, though. I took a look at it. I was curious about it because Richard Branson is a pretty innovative guy. And so I took a look. I was pretty intrigued by it. And the videos I saw of it, and I have a couple here put aside, all the hallways, Dirk, are lined with this red fluorescent light. Have you seen images of this?
Yeah.
It's like this
I
red
thought I was back
light.
in the French whorehouse.
It looks horrible. It just gives like this weird vibe, exactly like you said, like a strip club, or so. This is the rock and roll suite I'm showing on the page right now. This is an amazing space that kind of has guitars, electric guitars, acoustic guitars. This is like their equivalent of the Haven. But even this has a weird vibe, a vibe that makes me uncomfortable.
All I see is a door, Charles.
Oh, it's rolling, Dirk. It has like this uncomfortable, gaudy, weird
Here we go.
vibe
Here we go.
that I don't like. It doesn't feel homey. It doesn't feel anything. It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre feel. It's a beautiful space with nice amenities, but it ain't for me. They have like a blow up pink flamingo like float there, and I don't know. It's not for me. It's just not for me. I mean, that's one of their things. And then these rooms, they're balcony rooms, all their rooms, Dirk. Do you know, like, the rooms don't have beds? Did you hear about this? What they
Yep.
have are these, like, transforming, it's a transforming bed, couch bed, where, like, by day it's a couch and you could hang out in your room and, you know, the steward comes in and makes it into a couch, and then when you're ready for bed, they turn it over to a bed. But for me, it's bizarre, and I'll go into a little bit more about that in a few minutes when we look at one of the videos. Here's the balcony cabin. Now, this is the cabin at night, what I'm showing now. It has all this weird fluorescent lighting. I don't know who this is for. I mean, they're targeting young people, but I don't know if when I was younger, if I would have liked this. So here, this is the room at night where it's made out like a bed, and then during the day, the poor person, the steward, has to come in, and after you get up and go eat breakfast, he converts it to a couch, and you can hang out in here when it's a couch, which is a pretty cool idea. And the furniture looks like cheap and cheesy and gaudy, and with the lighting and stuff, and they have like a swing on the balcony. It's just not for me. Here's that pink light they have everywhere in the hallways and in the rooms. There's that swing I told you about on the balcony. They think that's cool. I don't know. I'm disappointed.
Hey, Charles.
Yes, sir.
Charles, tell us how you really feel.
I don't know. I was disappointed because the ship looks impressive. When you see the ship out from outside, I was very curious about it, and I really thought that Virgin was going to make this like big entry into the cruise industry, very strong entry into the cruise industry. And, you know, I'm a loyal Norwegian guy, and I was actually worried. I'm like, wow, how this is going to affect Norwegian, believe it or not, or how this is going to change the cruise industry. Are they going to be successful? And this happened. What I'm showing right now is actually an ocean view room with a portal window. Again, this is a day view because they converted. This converts back into a bed, and there's an inside stateroom with the bed made up at night. Again, with that disgusting red light.
Charles, I think you had the nail on the head when you said, "What kind of cruises are they looking for?"
Yeah, who's gonna go in here? I don't like anything about it. I wouldn't even try it. So cheap, gaudy furniture, terrible lighting. The lights, I think, bother me the most. That pink light, that stupid pink-colored lighting. Who the heck wants that? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to be a major hit. I don't know, but I think it's terrible. I think it's terrible. And so this is the latest victim. So the plan was for the Scarlet Lady, which looks beautiful from the outside. I'll give it to them. The Scarlet Lady is a strikingly beautiful ship from the outside, and it has all the reds and the unique shape and kind of like very streamlined looking. But they were supposed to come to New York City. In fact, you could see it on the map. I added it to the map today in red for the Scarlet Lady, and it's heading out of England, and it's supposed to be heading to New York City, and maybe it's still coming here. But they were going to have like a showcase, Dirk, for all like the travel professionals in New York City, and they just canceled it. They just announced today that they're going to cancel it. So Virgin Voyages cancels New York introduction, and they said, what do you think they said? Why are they canceling it?
Because of the virus, of course.
They said because of the virus. So Virgin Voyages has canceled its March introduction events of the Scarlet Lady in New York, and the ship will instead sail straight to Miami, its home port. Said Virgin in a prepared statement, in light of the current news headlines, we want to ensure everyone feels it is the right time to celebrate with us. We understand people may want to focus on other things at the moment, so we have made the decision to reschedule our upcoming showcase tour stop and events in New York City. We plan to sail back to New York soon for you to visit her. We have absolutely no health concerns or issues aboard and elevated our health protocol and processes when we took delivery of the Scarlet Lady to keep our crew and visitors well and happy. With no other events scheduled in New York at this time, We will instead scale Scarlett to her new home in Miami, where we will continue our plans for launch and welcome our sailors for the first time. So they have these, the first paid voyages of the Scarlet Lady will be out of Miami in the near future. They canceled their showcase in New York. They say because of the news headlines, but then they say there's no health concerns. So what are they afraid of? I think what they're afraid of is people going on there and saying, what a piece of garbage. I don't think they're afraid of the coronavirus. I think they're afraid of the negative reviews. And there's ample evidence of the negative reviews from the first passengers that boarded the Scarlet Lady and took a tour. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube. And here's one young lady who I thought was, she has a little thing called Emma Cruises. I think we played some of her videos in the past. She's a young lady that's a travel professional, blogger. Not as good as me and Dirk. But she's up there, right, Dirk?
Of course not. No, nobody's as good as those.
And she did a video of the Scarlet Lady, and it's a unique outlook. It's a unique view. And even this is weird to me. And she didn't like it, basically, is what she says. And if you go to her, look at these hallways. That is horrible. I feel like I'm on a set of a B movie, or worse. Look at these spaces. I don't know who this is going to appeal to. And then she goes on to say, here's her room. She talks about how the beds convert, and there's that swing on the balcony and stuff that she's got. And that's the day layout of the bed. And then at night they convert it. And look what the room looks like, though. That's the room. See, what they show you on the Virgin website is, a premium view and a rendering. This is the actual room. And look how barren it looks. And look at the furniture. The furniture is like, not that I have anything wrong with IKEA. I like IKEA furniture. I have IKEA furniture in my home. But do I want, when I'm paying to go on a vacation, do you want to see IKEA furniture when you go on vacation, Dirk? If you check into the Four Seasons and they had IKEA furniture, would you be disappointed?
Yeah, that's why I'm staying in the Westin.
Look at this. They tried to do like a 1960s beach club feel, I guess, and they have these. Why do they do this? It's all blocked, and they have these big numbers in front, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can't see anything. They have like these benches on deck that have no view.
Unbelievable.
There are no drawers or cupboards anywhere. So this is Emma talking about it. There's no storage. So what she's saying, and it's difficult to hear, is that she's in her room, she's giving a tour, and there's no storage. There's no cupboards. If you look at that desk, there's no drawers there. The cabin, for example, has no storage. There are no drawers or cupboards.
Doesn't look very comfortable, does it?
It's bizarre. I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe they should have hired some cruise industry folks. Itself is a good size. This is the closet. So the closet doesn't have a door, it just has a curtain. Realistically, you'll probably have your suitcases in here too, because they won't fit under the bed. She's saying the suitcases won't fit under the bed. If you have a particularly small suitcase,
no, of course not, because not the way they're configured.
I had friends who stayed on this ship who actually never managed to find the button. She said she couldn't find in this scene she's talking about. She couldn't find the light switch. And you know where the light switch was? For the room? Dirk. Inside the closet. She said that other people on the cruise ship never found the light switch for their room during the whole trip. I definitely can't. The bathroom is very well designed and looks very modern. That's the bathroom. It is the smallest bathroom. Anyway, I thought this was newsworthy in the group, and I think this is going to be a total disaster for Virgin Voyages. The spaces on the surface look nice. So small. That's a pool. There are loads of amazing outdoor spaces on board, but unfortunately, I was on the ship in the UK, and all we saw was grey skies. I love the exercise. I don't know, Dirk. I'm usually really positive. I don't know, Dirk. And everybody, and then there was another review from Don's Family Vacations. Don, I watched Don before we even started this podcast. I like the guy. He's a very familiar face if you're a cruiser and you're doing research on cruise ships on YouTube. This guy is a pretty well-known character. Some of the good things that are coming out. Some of the issues. And I haven't listened to him. I planned on watching it, but he goes through a couple of pictures there. And Don is a pretty reputable guy. And check out her videos by the tone of what he's saying. And again, I didn't listen to it. I was going to listen to it here, but I think I think we're boring a lot of people here. I like Don. Don has good reviews. I haven't watched his review yet, but I've heard nothing but bad things. So I'm gonna check the chat. Has anybody heard any good things about the Scarlet Lady? The chat. Hey, Marcus.
I think they like the pink. I think they like the pink light in the halls.
Oh, somebody said the red lights kill the coronavirus. Cabin said no bed during the day. Yeah, I'm just reading the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Here, I'm booked to go on this. Oh, we have somebody going on the Scarlet Lady. Kathy, you gotta post some pictures. Post some pictures. And Amy's just confirming that everybody on Princess is getting full refunds. And Mark is back. Mark, I believe, was on a cruise, and he's joining us again. Hey, Mark from New Jersey's here. What's going on? So lots of news this week, Dirk, in the cruise industry. Some good, some bad. Norwegian announced some new itineraries. If you follow their cruise blog, they're doing like some pretty good itineraries. Have you seen these? Machu Picchu, Dirk. Dirk, have you ever been there? Machu Picchu?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Before I had my breathing problems, I couldn't do it now.
Did you fly or did you were you on a ship?
No, fly.
You flew.
My son was just there last month.
Oh man, I'd like to go. I have so many places that I'd like to go, and
You better take some. You better take some oxygen with you.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll make it to Machu. I got to start training if I'm going to go to Machu Picchu.
Below the town below is higher, believe it or not, than Machu Picchu.
Really?
And that's where you get oxygen in the rooms. That's what my son said. By the way, Mark, congratulations to your whatever cruise and the big cake they gave you.
B2B Encore. Oh, cool. Mark went on a back-to-back on the Encore. How'd you like it, Mark? Mark, Kathy's acknowledging that she's going to post some pictures of the Scarlet Lady when she comes off. So Dirk, I am all coronavirused out. I am all newsed out. I am looking forward to going on a cruise. I think this summer, Dirk. And I've been checking prices, and I haven't seen much of a change. I haven't seen it right now. There's been no really dramatic change of cruise prices that I saw. Not on the official NCL website, but I looked at another website today that I won't say its name, and the prices was shockingly low on some of the sailings for a balcony cabin. I guess many people are canceling. So if I were to give any advice, and I rarely give advice on this channel, I'd say shop around to non-NCL sites to see if you get any deals on cruises in the near future. I checked April and May this afternoon on a very popular alternate site that I won't say because I don't want to endorse any site, but that very popular site had some pretty good deals on future cruises for inside staterooms, balcony rooms that I saw, and I bet you could find a very good deal. Dirk, should we do a 1-star review?
Yeah, do you see what Mark's saying? The NCL's having problems with only one gangway due to the delay of the new terminal.
Oh, really? No, I didn't see that. Wow, that terminal must be killing them. How long has that been under construction? That's been like a year and a half.
I mean,
we've been talking about that forever. I wonder what the delay. They're probably going to litigate. I'd imagine something. There's a lot going on in that.
The thing is too is with Miami being a union town, and you need so many permits for electrical, for whatever. I don't think that the delay is in the construction. I think the delay is with everything that goes with it. Get all the permits, and getting all the approval from the building inspectors.
Oh my God, it's got to be a nightmare. Mark is saying he had a great cruise. So Mark just got back to back on the Encore from Miami, and he's saying Tortola would not let an MSC ship dock this past week. We just watched a video, Mark, just a few minutes ago, about there was a major brawl on one of the MSC Maraglia, right, Dirk? I think it was the Maraglia.
Maraglia, yeah, yes.
Yeah, in the Caribbean, they wouldn't let them. They would not let them dock, and that caused some issues on board. Go back and watch it, Mark. It was pretty intense brawl. With security got involved, and they had to they pepper sprayed one guy. So pretty intense scenario on the Maragula recently. Why don't we look at that? Why don't we do a cruise ship review of the MSC Maraglia, MSC Maraglia.
They got pretty good
Meraviglia.
By the way, I'm going to be on the cruise first week in March out of New Orleans to the Caribbean. Yeah, on the getaway.
March? We're in March now. When are you heading out?
March 4th, I believe. March 4th or 5th.
That's like in a couple of days.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. April. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was April like, wow.
See,
I was like, that snuck up on me.
I tell you that pink color of the.
It got you disoriented. I don't know. I look at that ship. I don't know who's gonna take. First of all, I don't think young people. That's gonna appeal to young people. Second of all, I don't know who's gonna go on that ship because you ain't gonna see me on that ship. But Kathy, post some pictures of that Scarlet Lady. That'd be interesting. So we're gonna do a review. So it's the Meraviglia, the MSC Meraviglia, which is what we just watched. We just watched a major brawl on this, and we do this occasionally, ladies and gentlemen, on the show. We do what's something called the 1-star review, where we read and pick apart a 1-star review. And so far, we only did Norwegian. This is our first, I guess, venture out of Norwegian, right, Dirk, with the 1-star reviews. So I know nothing about this ship, but you could BS is BS, and you could smell BS, right, Dirk?
Oh yes.
All right, so you could smell BS. So here's a 1-star review. Oh, look at that, one paragraph. I just picked these at random, folks. And this is by somebody who only wrote one review in the past. And I always compare what the cruise critic editor grades the ship to what the passengers grade the ship. So the cruise critic editor of the MSC Meraviglia, I was calling it Maraglia before. I apologize, folks. So it's 5 out of 5. So the cruise critic rated the MSC Meraviglia 5 out of 5. Current passengers reviews, and there's 441 reviews, which is a pretty seasoned review, right? That's a pretty good seasoned review ship. And this one, so this is BC. I can't even read that. B Caniff. So B Caniff did a 1-star review. This is a random review of MSC Meraviglia. Let's look at what the summary is. So enrichment activities 1. Value for money, 1. That means they paid a lot. Embarkation, 2. Wow, she really ripped it apart. Dining is 1. Entertainment, 1. Cabin, 2. Service, 2. Onboard experience, 1. And let's see what happened to Caniff. I guess the B is silent. My husband and I heard, and heard is spelled H-E-R-D.
Well, he really must have heard it. He heard it coming.
My husband and I heard. That's funny. My husband and I heard wonderful things about the MSC cruises. We decided to go on one for our honeymoon. We have cruised several times before on Royal Caribbean and Carnival. There's your friends, Dirk, Carnival. When we first walked in, you didn't get that wow feeling. It was either you turned left or right, like you were coming back onto the ship from a cruise port. There was no one directing us where to go or how to tell where our room was. We finally got to a room after 20 minutes of searching. The ship was so big. The ship is so big, it is actually ridiculous how far we had to walk from the elevator to our room. Can you believe that, Dirk?
Well, it must be a long, and they don't have elevators from the back to the front of the ship either.
Already, I'm like, I want to see this person's picture. So 20 minutes, they're wandering around looking for their room. You know what I would do, Dirk?
I get off.
No, I would say, hey, mister, hey, sir, I'm looking for this room. Can you help me find it? And then he would go, yeah, it's right down this way. And then I'd find my room.
But if you don't find any crew member, what you going to do then?
I wouldn't wander around for 20 minutes, that's for sure.
It would have taken him longer to find a crew member than his room.
There was no one directing us where to go or how to tell where our room was. We finally got to our room after 20 minutes of searching. The ship is so big, it is actually ridiculous how far we had to walk from the elevator to our room. We paid for a balcony, and it was nothing impressive. The balcony was dirty and sandy, and the bathroom had makeup all over the wall and sink. We then ventured to the buffet, and it was okay. That would bother me if I walked into my room and there was makeup. I know it's an allegation, and I don't believe anything without a picture, and even then I would worry about it. So the sand on the balcony wouldn't bother me. We then ventured to the buffet, and it was okay. Had dinner at the formal dining restaurant that night and didn't go back. Cheap pieces of steak and meat, very disappointed. We sat in the middle of the two other couples and were very uncomfortable. Mind you, we had our own table, but it was just that close together. Our first stop was Jamaica. Unfortunately, we couldn't get off the ship because one of the crew members had flu A. We just talked about that. Okay, fine, that happens. We were bummed, but moved on. Next port. Can't get off again. Now we are over it. The activities on this cruise are awful. You have to make reservations to see any kind of show, and if you don't have a reservation, you can't go unless they have a room at the very end. Unless they have room at the very end. The Cirque du Soleil performance was absolutely terrible. What do they have, Cirque du Soleil on every ship? More than one cruise line? Nobody has the rights to that?
Well, they got troops all over.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's kind of like Cirque du Soleil style performances on most ships, I guess.
Style, okay.
Yeah. I guess this is the official Cirque du Soleil, but there's definitely like Norwegian has kind of Cirque du Soleil style performances.
No, that is Cirque. But no, the Norwegian one is.
It is Cirque
du Soleil staff.
So this lady, just to recap, folks, this is a one-star review of the MSC Meraviglia. We just watched a video of some passengers get into a melee on the Meraviglia, so we came and we're doing our one-star review portion of the show on the MSC Meraviglia in that spirit. And this passenger only had one other review, and she's ripping apart the MSC Meraviglia. I don't know how legit it is because she started off spelling her wrong, and it took her 20 minutes to find the room. And now we are at the Cirque du Soleil performance, and she said it was terrible. I don't think I've ever seen a terrible performance on a cruise ship. Yeah. Maybe once, and it was like this. It was on Norwegian. It was like a. Remember that old entertainment company Norwegian used to use, the dance company that did all the entertainment. Oh, yeah. You know the one I'm talking about. The Gene something. Somebody in the chat will know. They did all the shows. They produced all the shows on Norwegian. And who knows? I don't remember the name of it. But I saw one. It was like a 30s style show. That was absolutely. It was like a dance show. It was horrible. And that's the only like really bad thing. Cirque du Soleil is always like an intense, dramatic performance. I'm surprised that this passenger didn't like it. I've never been so disappointed. And this we had to pay extra. Most of the activities like bowling, 4D cinema. She spelled cinema wrong. She spelled it C-I-N-A-M-A. And stimulation rides. What's a stimulation ride? Oh, simulation ride, she meant to say. 4D cinema and simulation rides. She wrote stimulation rides. You had to pay as well. $20 and up. That's crazy! Exclamation point. I've never been on a cruise where you pay for most of the activities they offer, and they had a handful of specialty restaurants we thought we would try since we didn't like the original one. Nope. They are all full, and we need a reservation. We had to call 3 times for them to come to get us a queen bed. We originally had twins. Also went down to customer service a few times for them to refill our mini bar. We also paid tips before we embarked, and they charge you an additional tip for everything. My husband got a chocolate bar from the store, and they charged him a $2 service fee. What? Exclamation point. For a chocolate bar? Exclamation point. They offered to give us invites, credits for the time we didn't get off the ship, but that doesn't hit until the very next day. We are very disappointed with this cruise and will not be back. We will stick to Carnival or Royal Caribbean. I don't know. I get the impression that this person did nothing prior to their trip to figure out what their game plan was, and they get on board the ship. They don't know what they're doing. They're all over the place. They don't make reservations, and then they're shocked to find out that everything is booked. I think they came up with the wrong frame of mind. What do you think, Dirk?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like experienced Norwegian travelers, does it?
No. It's not a good thing. They did nothing, and it doesn't sound like they're good travel planners. Anyway, I don't think this was a valid review. What do you think? Most of these 1-star reviews, I think this was an unfair review.
I think the whole thing starts with them not finding their room, and then from then on, everything is negative to point back to that they couldn't find their room.
They start off, they can't find their room. They search for 20 minutes. They don't stop and ask anybody. They wander around the cruise ship. I wonder if they were on the right floor. You know, if they were in room 8050, were they on 7th floor?
I wonder if they were on the right ship.
Maybe they got on the wrong ship. Wander around 20 minutes. They're worried about sand on the balcony. I don't know. I don't know. This is definitely a young person. This is a young person who has no clue.
Maybe there was a beach balcony.
There was a beach balcony. Maybe they were supposed to be. Maybe they're the future Scarlet Lady sailors. Maybe they'll be happy on that crappy boat, that crappy ship.
If they had sand on the balcony, it had to be a beach balcony.
A beach balcony. Did you ever hear of anybody getting charged $2 for a service fee for a chocolate bar?
I think that's how much a chocolate bar was. I don't think.
Why would you be charged a service fee if you're in the store and you're buying a chocolate bar? Why would they charge you $2 for that? I've never heard of that.
Maybe the chocolate bar was $2. You know, one of those small ones.
I don't get it. Anybody in the chat know? I've never been on embassy. I have no idea. I don't think that's valid. They offered to give us invites credit. What's invites credit? For the time we didn't get off the ship. Oh. When they got off the ship, they couldn't get off the ship in Jamaica and in one other port. What does that mean, an invites credit? I'm sure that's another misspelled word. I can't figure that out. We are very disappointed with this cruise and will not be back. We will stick to Carnival Royal Caribbean. Well, there you go. Caniff with a B in front. Maybe that's our first initial last name. B. Caniff. Who knows? Anyway, she took this MSC Meraviglia to the Western Caribbean just recently. She sailed in February 2020. She wasn't happy. She had a balcony stateroom. I've never heard of a stateroom having twin beds. Anyway, they had to bring a queen bed to her. She booked the wrong kind of room. Anyway, that's our 1-star review, folks, for today. And I think, Dirk, that's the end of our show. What do you think? You have anything else to add?
Invoice credit. That makes sense.
Invoice credit. What did she write?
Invites. No, Kirk said it. Invoice credit.
It's an invoice. Okay, invoice credit. Oh, Kirk said. Okay, Brunilda and Kirk. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, because it says very clearly, invites credit. They offered to give us invites credit, invoice credit for the time we didn't get off. Okay, that makes sense. Invoice credit. All right, that's good. All right, so folks, that's it. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to us today. Dirk, you have any final thoughts before we end the show?
No, everybody, just cool it. Live your life. Don't live in a bubble.
That's it. That's a great advice. And wash your hands, right? Should we even say that, Dirk?
Twice.
Wash your hands 20 seconds. happy birthday twice. Keep those hands washed, washy.
And the most important thing, as you know, being in the medical field, in between the fingers and the thumb are the least ones that get water and soap.
That's right. In between the fingers, in between the
And
thumb,
the
and your fingertips. Don't forget
Right.
those fingertips. You got to scratch your fingers on your palm when it's with some soap. So wash your hands, folks. Enjoy yourself. If you have a future cruise coming up, have a wonderful time. Don't worry about this coronavirus stuff. I think the cruise industry has so much to lose that they're really taking extraordinary measures to keep everybody safe. They don't want any bad press, and they certainly don't want a nightmare like the Diamond Princess. So they're working very hard to make sure people are safe. You know, Dirk, I work in the health field. I've said it before, and there is some caution, right? The environment is there's some level of caution, but the experts. Maybe I shouldn't say it. The experts that I work with, and when you ask them, how worrisome is this? You know, how worried? The comparison they always give is to the flu. The regular seasonal flu has been much more deadly than the coronavirus than this virus has. It's an important virus, but the flu every year kills many, many more people versus the coronavirus. And the government is taking extraordinary action, and so are the cruise industry and the travel industry to keep everybody safe. They don't want to see their industry in decline. They want to see it flourish, and everybody's working very hard to make so. So just protect yourself, keep safe, have fun, and we'll see you next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Right, Dirk?
That's right. Everybody have fun, and like I said, don't live in a bubble.
Don't live in a bubble. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye.